I always thought the worst moment of my life would be hearing those words from my husband. I'm leaving you. I was wrong. The worst came 15 minutes later when my mother-in-law Palmer smiled that serpentine smile and said, "You're nothing but a barren curse on this family, Alexis. You always have been. My name is Alexis, and until yesterday, I thought I had a perfect life. A loving husband of 8 years, a successful career as a marketing executive, and what I believed was a supportive extended family. How quickly things can unravel." "You can't be serious about this, Toby," I said, my voice barely above a whisper as I stared at my husband across our kitchen island. The granite countertop between us might as well have been an ocean. "Adeline's pregnant," he replied, not meeting my eyes. "My parents are right. We've tried for years, Alexis. Maybe this is a sign." I gripped the counter to steady myself. "A sign? Your assistant gets pregnant after your drunk mistake at the office Christmas party. And that's a sign?" Palmer stepped forward, her designer heels clicking against our hardwood floors. "Don't you dare make my son sound irresponsible. This is God's plan. Adeline can give him what you couldn't." "Palmer, please." Neil, my father-in-law, touched her arm, but she shrugged him off. "No, Neil. Someone needs to say it. 8 years of trying, 8 years of disappointment. Do you know what people say about our family? That the done line will end because Toby married a—" "Enough!" I slammed my hand on the counter, making them all jump. "I've endured your subtle jabs for years, Palmer. The pointed questions about when we'd have children, the pamphlets for fertility clinics mysteriously appearing in my mail. But this is low, even for you." Toby finally looked up, his face twisted with what looked like guilt. "Alexis, please understand. Adeline needs me. The baby needs its father," Palmer interrupted, "and our family needs an heir. It's really quite simple." I laughed, a hollow sound that surprised even me. "Simple? You want simple, Palmer? How about this? Your precious son got his 28-year-old assistant pregnant while married to me. But somehow I'm the villain in this story? You're making this harder than it needs to be," Toby said, running his fingers through his hair, a nervous habit I once found endearing. "The lawyers have already drawn up the papers. We can do this amicably." "Lawyers? How long have you been planning this?" The silence that followed was deafening. "How long, Toby?" "3 months," he mumbled. My world tilted on its axis. 3 months. While I was planning our anniversary trip to Greece, they were planning my exit from the family. "I found something interesting the other day," I said, my voice eerily calm as I reached for my phone. I was looking through old photos and came across this. I pulled up the image and slid my phone across the counter. Palmer's face went white. "What is it?" Toby asked, reaching for the phone. "Ask your mother about the fertility clinic appointment she canceled on my behalf 3 years ago. The one where we were supposed to start IVF treatments." I turned to Palmer. "You forged my signature on the cancellation forms. I have proof." The kitchen fell silent. Neil's eyes widened as he turned to his wife. "Palmer, what is she talking about?" I was protecting our family," Palmer stammered. "Those treatments are unnatural. I couldn't let—" "Get out!" My voice was steel. "All of you get out of my house." "It's our house," Toby protested weakly. "The deed is in my name," I finished. "A wedding gift from my parents, remember? You have until tomorrow to collect your things. After that, I'm changing the locks." Palmer opened her mouth to argue, but Neil grabbed her arm. "We're leaving. Come on, Toby." As they filed out, I called after them. "Palmer, remember what you said about me being a curse? Let's see who's really cursed in the end." The door closed behind them, and I slid to the floor, my legs finally giving out. My phone buzzed. A text from my friend Serenity. "Just heard what happened. I'm coming over. Don't you dare face this alone. Through my tears, I smiled. They thought they were ending my story, but they had no idea. This was just the beginning. I may have lost my husband and my in-laws, but I was about to find something far more valuable, my power. You're not going to believe who just walked into my cafe, Serenity said, sliding into the booth across from me. 2 weeks had passed since my world imploded, and I'd retreated to my hometown, seeking refuge in familiar places. Please don't say Toby, I muttered into my coffee cup. Better, your father-in-law. Well, ex-father-in-law now. Neil looked absolutely wrecked. I straightened in my seat. What did he want? To talk to you, actually. Serenity reached across the table and squeezed my hand. He left his card, said he needs to tell you something important. I'm not interested in anything the Dunns have to say. I pulled my hand away, but Serenity slid the business card across the table anyway. He mentioned Palmer's been admitted to the hospital. Severe anxiety attacks, apparently. Karma works fast these days, I said, but the words felt hollow. Despite everything, I couldn't find joy in anyone's suffering, even Palmer's. That's not all, Serenity continued, her eyes sparkling with that look she got when she had an idea. Remember that wellness retreat we talked about starting back in college? The one for women going through major life changes? I nodded. It had been our dream during late-night study sessions, creating a safe haven for women to heal and rebuild their lives. The old Morrison estate is up for sale, 20 acres, that beautiful Victorian mansion, perfect location just outside town. And get this, they're practically giving it away because it needs renovation. Serenity? Listen to me, Alexis. You've got the settlement money from selling your house. I've got savings, and between your marketing experience and my hospitality background, we could make this work. Before I could respond, the cafe door chimed. Neil walked in, looking indeed as wrecked as Serenity had described. Our eyes met, and after a moment's hesitation, he approached our table. Alexis, he said softly, may I join you? Serenity squeezed my shoulder as she stood. I'll give you two a minute. I gestured to the empty seat, and Neil sat down heavily. You look well, he said. Cut the small talk, Neil. What do you want? He pulled out an envelope from his jacket. There's something you need to know about Palmer, about why she did what she did. I already know why. She's a controlling woman who couldn't bear the thought of her precious son having a child through IVF. It's more than that. He pushed the envelope toward me. Palmer couldn't have children naturally either. She used IVF to have Toby, back when the technology was new and controversial. Her family disowned her for it. I stared at the envelope, not touching it. Why are you telling me this? Because she's been living with that shame for 30 years. When you and Toby started talking about IVF, it triggered something in her. Instead of supporting you, she became the very person who hurt her. And now she's having anxiety attacks, I said flatly. Neil nodded. The guilt is eating her alive. Toby's marriage to Adeline is already falling apart. She's demanding control of everything, threatening to keep the baby from him if he doesn't comply with her wishes. Palmer realizes now that she destroyed something precious for nothing. I finally opened the envelope. Inside was a check for a substantial amount. What's this for? It's my personal apology. Use it however you want. I should have stopped Palmer. I should have protected you. I pushed the check back. I don't want your money, Neil. Then use it to help others. Palmer mentioned once that you and Serenity had dreams of opening a retreat. Make it happen. I looked over at Serenity, who was pretending not to watch us from behind the counter. The Morrison estate flashed through my mind. Its sprawling grounds, the potential it held. Why are you really doing this, Neil? He stood up slowly, looking every bit his age. Because someone needs to break the cycle of hurt in this family. It might as well be me. After he left, Serenity returned with fresh coffee and property listings. So? She asked, trying to contain her excitement. I picked up Neil's check and smiled. Call the real estate agent. Let's go look at that mansion. Really? Serenity squealed, drawing looks from other customers. Really, but I have one condition. We make sure there's space for a fertility support group, free of charge. Serenity's eyes welled up. Now that's the kind of revenge I can get behind. Looking at the property listings, I felt something I hadn't experienced since that day in my kitchen. Hope. Maybe Neil was right. Maybe breaking the cycle of hurt started with turning pain into purpose. And if Palmer and the others saw what their cruelty had helped create, well, that would just be a bonus. The electrical system is a complete disaster, Ian said, flipping through his inspection report. Our lawyer friend had volunteered to help us navigate the renovation contracts, but each new assessment brought more challenges. And don't get me started on the plumbing. I walked through the dusty grand hall of the Morrison estate, sunlight streaming through grimy windows. But it's fixable, right? With enough money and time, anything's fixable. He glanced at his watch. Speaking of money, your contractor's late. He's not late, Serenity called from the staircase. He's not coming. Just got a text. Apparently, someone told him about our women's retreat concept, and he doesn't want his name associated with, quote, angry man-hating feminists. I laughed bitterly. Let me guess. Small town? Everyone knows everyone? And someone's been talking, Serenity added, descending the stairs. 3 guesses who, and the first 2 don't count. Adeline, I muttered. My ex-husband's new wife had been surprisingly vocal about my project, spreading rumors faster than a wildfire. Ian closed his folder with a snap. I know another contractor, former client, excellent work ethic. She'll be perfect for this project. She? Serenity's eyes lit up. Margaret's the best in the business. Let me make a call. As Ian stepped outside, my phone buzzed. A text from Toby. Can we talk? Important. Ignore it, Serenity advised, reading over my shoulder. Nothing good comes from talking to exes. But curiosity got the better of me. I stepped onto the wraparound porch and called him. Alexis? Toby's voice sounded strained. Thanks for calling back. Make it quick. I'm in the middle of something. I heard about the retreat. Adeline's she's been saying things around town. I noticed. I'll talk to her. Make her stop. It's just, she's not handling the pregnancy well. The doctor ordered bed rest, and she's taking it out on everyone. I leaned against the porch railing. Not my problem anymore, Toby. I know. It's just... He paused. I miss you, Lex. I made a horrible mistake. The nickname hit me like a punch to the gut. You don't get to do this. The baby's not mine. The words hung in the air like smoke. What? DNA test came back yesterday. She lied about the timing. It's her ex's baby. My parents are devastated. Mom's back in the hospital. I closed my eyes, letting the information sink in. Again, not my problem. Lex, please. No, I cut him off. You didn't just leave me, Toby. You and your family destroyed me. Or at least, you tried to. But look what happened. I'm building something beautiful from those ashes, and you're living with the consequences of your choices. The door opened behind me, and Serenity poked her head out. Margaret's here. I have to go, I told Toby. Don't call me again. Inside, a tall woman in work boots and a flannel shirt was already examining the crown molding. Good bones, she said by way of greeting. Terrible execution on past renovations, but we can fix that. I'm Margaret. Alexis, I shook her hand. This is Serenity, my business partner. Ian filled me in on the project. Women's wellness retreat, right? My sister went through a nasty divorce last year. Could have used a place like this. That's exactly why we're doing it, Serenity said. Every woman deserves a safe place to rebuild. Margaret nodded, pulling out a tablet. Let's talk numbers and timeline. And don't worry about the rumors. Small minds talk small things. We'll show them what women supporting women really looks like. As Margaret walked us through her renovation plan, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. Toby's revelation about Adeline should have felt like vindication, but instead, it just confirmed what I already knew. I was better off without them. One more thing, Margaret said, pulling up a final document. I have a proposition. Instead of just fixing this place up, what if we made it a showcase of female artisans? I know painters, sculptors, woodworkers, all women who'd love to contribute their work. Serenity grabbed my arm. Alexis, imagine it. Not just a retreat, but a celebration of female creativity and resilience. Looking around the grand hall, I could see it all coming together. The healing spaces, the art, the community we could build. Let Adeline spread her rumors. Let Palmer wallow in her guilt. Let Toby live with his mistakes. When can you start? I asked Margaret. She smiled, extending her hand. How about tomorrow? As we shook on it, I couldn't help but think how different this handshake felt from my wedding day. This wasn't an ending disguised as a beginning. This was a true fresh start, built on strength rather than promises. And this is our meditation garden, I said, leading the local news crew through the newly renovated grounds. 6 months of backbreaking work had transformed the Morrison estate into something magical. Each sculpture was created by a female artist, telling her story of healing and renewal. The reporter, Sarah, nodded appreciatively. It's stunning. And you say you're already booked solid for the next 3 months? 4, actually, Serenity chimed in. We've had women reaching out from across the country. Turns out there's a real need for this kind of space. As if on cue, one of our current guests emerged from the garden path. Alexis, she called out, wiping tears from her eyes. That grief counseling session. I haven't felt this much peace since my husband died. Thank you. Sarah's cameraman captured the moment, and I could see the reporter's professional detachment softening. This is more than just a wellness retreat, isn't it? It's a sanctuary, I replied. Every woman who comes here has a different story, but they all share one thing, the need to rebuild. After the interview, Serenity and I sat on the veranda, watching the sunset paint the sky in brilliant oranges and pinks. Local news today, national coverage tomorrow. She grinned, pouring us both a glass of wine. We did it, Alexis. My phone buzzed. An email notification. Speaking of coverage, guess who just requested a stay at the retreat? No, Serenity gasped, reading over my shoulder. Adeline? She has some nerve. Apparently, the divorce from Toby was finalized last week. She's seeking healing and restoration. I quoted from the email. Please tell me you're not considering it. Before I could respond, Margaret appeared with a stack of papers. Final inspection passed with flying colors, she announced. And you'll never guess who I ran into in town? Palmer, I guessed. Close. Neil. He asked about you, wanted to know if the retreat was everything you'd hoped for. Margaret sat down, helping herself to wine. He also mentioned that Palmer's been asking about our programs. I set my phone down. What is it with this family? They tear me down, and now they all want my help? Maybe that's your answer, Serenity said softly. Maybe this is your chance to show them exactly what they lost, what they created. By helping them, by being stronger than they ever imagined. She pulled up our booking system. Look at these testimonials. This place saved my life. I found myself again here. For the first time in years, I feel whole. Margaret nodded. Success is the best revenge, and you're successful as hell. Just then, a commotion erupted from the main entrance. One of our staff members rushed onto the veranda. Alexis, you need to come quickly. Palmer's here. I found Palmer in the lobby, looking nothing like the polished, intimidating woman I remembered. Her designer clothes had been replaced by simple slacks and a sweater, her perfectly coiffed hair now streaked with gray. I know I shouldn't be here, she said before I could speak. I just, I needed to see it for myself. See what? What you built from what we destroyed. She looked around the lobby, taking in the artwork, the peaceful atmosphere. It's remarkable. Palmer, no, please let me finish. Toby's life is in shambles. Adeline's betrayal broke him. My marriage is barely holding together. And you took our cruelty and turned it into this beautiful thing that helps people. I crossed my arms. Is that why you're here? To admire your handiwork? I'm here to apologize and to ask. She swallowed hard. To ask if you'd consider letting me volunteer here. Not as a guest, but as someone who wants to make amends. A laugh bubbled up from my chest. You want to volunteer? You who called me a barren curse? I want to face what I did. Every day, helping the women I once looked down on. It's the only way I know how to even begin to make things right. I studied her face, searching for any sign of manipulation. Instead, I saw something I'd never seen before in Palmer: humility. There's a position open in our community outreach program, I said finally. 3 days a week, helping women access our services who couldn't otherwise afford them. It's unpaid. Yes, she whispered, anything. And Palmer, the first time you make any woman feel less than worthy, any woman, you're out. Permanently? She nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks. I understand. As I watched her leave, Serenity appeared at my side. Are you sure about this? I thought about Adeline's email, about Neil's support, about Toby's shattered life. You know what's better than revenge? Watching them realize exactly what they threw away, while helping others heal in the process. Now that, Serenity smiled, is true power. She's actually good at this, Serenity said, watching Palmer guide a group of women through the retreat's intake process. 2 weeks into her volunteer work, and my former mother-in-law had surprised everyone with her dedication. Who knew the Ice Queen had a heart? People can change, I replied, sorting through the day's mail. Sometimes they just need a wake-up call. Speaking of wake-up calls, Serenity pointed toward the entrance where Neil stood, looking uncertain. Your ex-father-in-law is back. I found Neil in the garden, staring at a sculpture of a phoenix rising from ashes. Palmer seems different, he said without turning around. Lighter somehow. Working here has been good for her, I admitted. She's learning to see beyond her own prejudices. That's actually why I'm here. Neil finally faced me. There's something you need to know about the day Toby left you. Something I've been carrying for too long. We sat on a nearby bench, the late autumn sun warming our faces. I'm listening. Palmer didn't just forge your signature for the IVF cancellation. He took a deep breath. She paid Adeline to seduce Toby. The world seemed to tilt on its axis. What? She was so desperate for a grandchild, she orchestrated the whole thing. Hired Adeline specifically because she was young and fertile. Paid her to get close to Toby, to be there when he was vulnerable. And you knew about this? Not until after. When I found out, I couldn't look at Palmer the same way. That's why I gave you that check. Why I supported this place. I've been trying to atone for my silence. I stood up, pacing the garden path. Does Palmer know you're telling me this? Yes. She's the one who suggested I come clean. Said she can't truly make amends while holding on to secrets. A laugh escaped me, hollow and bitter. So my marriage wasn't just destroyed, it was sabotaged, deliberately. Alexis, no, you don't get to comfort me, not now. I turned to face him. Why tell me this? What's the point? Because Toby's back in town. He's been asking about you, about the retreat. And Neil hesitated. He's thinking about reaching out. Of course he is, I muttered. Now that his perfect life with Adeline fell apart, he wants what he threw away. He doesn't know about Palmer's involvement, none of it. She's afraid you'll tell him. I looked toward the main building where Palmer was visible through a window, helping a young woman with paperwork. She's afraid I'll use this information to hurt her, the way she hurt me. Neil nodded slowly. Would you? A year ago, absolutely. Now? I shook my head. I've built something meaningful here, something that helps people heal. Destroying Palmer won't change the past. You're a better person than we deserved, Neil said quietly. This isn't about being better, it's about breaking cycles. I gestured to the retreat around us. Every woman who comes here has a choice. Stay broken or build something new. Palmer's choosing to build something new. Who am I to stop her? As if summoned by our conversation, Palmer emerged from the building. Seeing us together, she froze, then slowly approached. I suppose Neil told you everything, she said, her voice trembling. Yes. And nothing. Keep doing your work here, Palmer. Keep helping women heal. That's your penance. Tears welled in her eyes. What about Toby? If he comes here? If Toby comes here, he'll be treated like any other guest's family member, with respect and appropriate boundaries. I met her gaze steadily. But he needs to know the truth, Palmer. Not from me, from you. I don't know if I can, she whispered. You can and you will, because that's part of your healing too. Neil placed a hand on Palmer's shoulder. We'll tell him together. As they left the garden, Serenity appeared with 2 cups of tea. Everything okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. More like I've finally laid some ghosts to rest. I accepted the tea, breathing in its calming aroma. You know what's funny? They thought they were orchestrating my downfall, but they actually set me free. Free to build this place, Serenity smiled. Free to become who I was meant to be. I watched a group of women gathering for their afternoon therapy session. And now they're the ones who need what we've built. Life has a way of coming full circle, Serenity mused. It does, I agreed, thinking of the phoenix sculpture. And sometimes, the most powerful revenge isn't revenge at all. It's rising so high that those who hurt you have to look up to see you. He's been sitting in the parking lot for 20 minutes, Serenity reported, peeking through the office blinds. Should I call security? I glanced out at Toby's car, remembering how Palmer and Neil had left yesterday after promising to tell him everything. No, let him come in when he's ready. As if hearing us, Toby finally emerged from his car. Even from this distance, I could see he looked different, shoulders slumped, hair unkempt. The polished executive I'd married was gone. I'll handle the afternoon session. Serenity squeezed my arm. You deal with this. The front desk called up. Ms. Alexis, Mr. Toby is here. Send him to the garden, I replied. It felt fitting, the same place where I'd learned the truth about his mother's manipulation. I found him by the phoenix sculpture, looking as lost as Neil had yesterday. They told me everything, he said without turning around. About Mom hiring Adeline, about the IVF sabotage, all of it. And I feel like the biggest fool in the world. He finally faced me, eyes red-rimmed. I let them destroy the best thing in my life. You let them destroy our marriage, I corrected. But I'm not the best thing in your life, Toby. I never was. If I had been, you wouldn't have listened to them. Lex, don't call me that. I moved to stand by the sculpture. Why are you here? I don't know, he admitted. To apologize? To beg forgiveness? To try to understand how you built all this from the wreckage I helped create? A group of women passed by, heading to their afternoon therapy session. Among them was Adeline, who'd started her retreat program yesterday. She saw us and quickly looked away, hurrying past. Is that why you approved her application to stay here? Toby asked. To show her what she helped destroy? I approved her application because she needs healing, just like everyone else who comes here. I sat on a nearby bench. Your mother works here now, did you know that? He nodded. Dad told me, said she's different, humbler. She is, because she chose to be. She's facing her actions and trying to make amends. I looked at him directly. What are you choosing, Toby? I don't know how to fix this, he whispered. That's because you can't. Some things, once broken, don't go back together the same way, but they can become something new. I gestured to the retreat around us. Look what I built from our broken marriage. It's incredible, he said. You're incredible. I should have... Stop. I held up my hand. This isn't about what you should have done. It's about what you're going to do now. Just then, Palmer appeared on the path, freezing when she saw us. I'm sorry. She started to retreat. I didn't know. Stay, I called out. This concerns you too. She approached slowly, looking between us. Toby, I'm so sorry. What I did to you both was cruel and calculated. He cut her off. But you're here now, trying to make it right. I see you working with these women, helping them. You're different. I'm trying to be, she whispered. Then maybe that's what I need to do too, Toby said. Not try to fix the past, but build something better for the future. I stood up. There's a men's support group in town. They meet at the community center on Thursdays. Many of them are dealing with the aftermath of broken marriages. Some they broke themselves. You think I should go? I think you need healing too, Toby. Everyone does. I looked at Palmer. Your mother found her healing by helping others. Maybe you need to find your own path. He nodded slowly. Thank you, not for forgiving me, but for showing me there's a way forward. There's always a way forward, I said. Sometimes it's just not the way we expected. As Toby left, Palmer lingered. The women's group is starting, she said. Adeline's sharing her story today. Are you ready to hear it? No, she admitted, but I need to. I need to face what I set in motion. I watched them both walk away. My ex-husband toward his car. My former mother-in-law toward her redemption. The phoenix sculpture cast long shadows in the afternoon sun, its wings spread wide, eternal in its promise of renewal. Serenity appeared beside me. You okay? Better than okay, I smiled. I think I finally understand something. The best revenge isn't making others suffer. It's showing them a better way to live, even if they don't deserve it. Now that, Serenity grinned, sounds like something we should put on our brochure. I'd like to share something today, Adeline said, her voice trembling as she stood before the group. 1 month into her stay, she'd finally decided to speak. I sat in my usual spot at the back of the room, watching Palmer stiffen in her chair. Take your time, our therapist, Rachel, encouraged. I thought I was so clever, Adeline began. When Palmer offered me money to seduce Toby, I saw it as my chance to climb the social ladder. I never considered the lives I'd destroy. The room fell silent. Some women knew my story, knew who Adeline was. Others just sensed the weight of the moment. The baby wasn't his, she continued. I knew that from the start, but Palmer's plan worked so perfectly. The office party, the staged encounter, the pregnancy announcement. It was like dominoes falling. I watched Palmer's shoulders shake with silent sobs. But you know what the worst part was? Adeline wiped her eyes. The worst part wasn't losing Toby when the truth came out. It wasn't facing my own lies. It was realizing that I'd become someone I despised, all for money and status. Rachel nodded encouragingly. And how do you feel now? Ashamed, grateful, confused. Adeline looked directly at me. Alexis has every right to hate me, to turn me away from this place. Instead, she let me come here, let me heal. I don't understand that kind of grace. Before I could respond, Palmer stood up. I need to speak too. Rachel gestured for her to join Adeline at the front. I'm the one who orchestrated everything, Palmer announced. I was so obsessed with having a grandchild, with maintaining our family's social standing, that I became a monster. I paid this young woman to destroy my son's marriage. I canceled medical appointments that weren't mine to cancel. I called my daughter-in-law Barren and cursed. She turned to face me. And now I work here, watching women heal from the kind of pain I caused. Every day, I see the strength it takes to rebuild a life. Every day, I understand more deeply what I tried to destroy. The door opened quietly, and Serenity slipped in, followed by Neil. They stood against the wall, listening. I thought having a grandchild would complete me, Palmer continued. Instead, I lost my son's respect, nearly destroyed my marriage, and hurt people who didn't deserve it. But standing here, doing this work, I'm finally becoming the person I should have been all along. Adeline stepped forward. I'd like to make a donation to the retreat, she announced. My entire payment from Palmer, plus interest. It should help fund stays for women who can't afford it. I'll match it, Palmer added quickly. It's time that money did some good. I stood up, all eyes turning to me. Thank you both for your honesty, but the donations need to come with action, not just money. Adeline, we have a mentoring program for women rebuilding their careers ethically. Would you be interested in sharing your story there? She nodded eagerly. Yes, absolutely. And Palmer, I continued, our outreach program is expanding. We need someone to coordinate with local women's shelters. It's a paid position, but it means facing a lot of hard truths about privilege and power. I'd be honored, Palmer whispered. Rachel cleared her throat. I think we've all witnessed something powerful today. The cycle of hurt can stop with choice and change. After the session, I found Neil waiting in my office. That was quite a moment, he said. How are you feeling? Surprisingly peaceful, I replied. A year ago, I wanted them to hurt like I hurt. Now, watching them face their actions, watching them try to be better, it feels more satisfying than revenge ever could. Toby's doing better too, Neil offered. That men's group you suggested, he's really connecting there. Even started mentoring younger guys about toxic family dynamics. Serenity burst in, waving a magazine. We got it! The feature in women's wellness. They're calling us the most innovative retreat in the country. I took the magazine, smiling at the photo of our phoenix sculpture on the cover. The headline read, Rising from Ashes, How One Woman's Pain Became a Haven of Healing. They want to interview you for a follow-up piece, Serenity grinned, about turning personal tragedy into triumph. Tell them yes, I said, but I want Palmer and Adeline included too. The full story, how enemies became allies in healing. Neil squeezed my shoulder. You've created something extraordinary here, Alexis, something that transforms lives. Looking out my office window at the women walking the garden paths, at Palmer organizing her outreach files, at Adeline speaking with a new arrival, I felt a deep sense of completion. We all have choices, I said. I chose to build rather than break, and look what grew from that choice. Ready for the big reveal? Serenity asked, her hand on the curtain cord. The retreat's main hall was packed with guests, staff, and local media for our new wing's opening ceremony. As ready as I'll ever be, I replied, scanning the crowd. Palmer stood with her outreach team, looking professional in her new coordinator's badge. Adeline sat with her mentorship group, a stack of career development materials on their laps. Even Toby had come, standing quietly at the back with Neil. Then let's do this. Serenity pulled the cord, revealing the bronze plaque on the wall. The Phoenix Wing, where healing transforms lives, dedicated to every woman who chose to rise. Applause filled the room. As it died down, I stepped up to the podium. When I first stood in this building, it was broken and abandoned, much like I was at the time. A knowing murmur rippled through the audience. But just as these walls found new purpose, so did I. So did many of us. I gestured to Palmer. Our outreach coordinator once thought power meant control. Now she helps women escape controlling situations. Palmer wiped a tear, nodding. Our career mentor, I indicated Adeline, learned that true success comes from lifting others up, not climbing over them. This new wing isn't just about expanding our facility, I continued. It's about expanding our vision. We're adding programs for families healing from toxic patterns, for women rebuilding their professional lives ethically, for mothers and daughters repairing broken bonds. Serenity joined me at the podium. And we're proud to announce that thanks to recent donations, we can now offer full scholarships to women in need. No one will be turned away for lack of funds. More applause. I saw Toby whisper something to Neil, who smiled and nodded. But before we cut the ribbon, someone else would like to speak. I stepped back. Palmer? Palmer looked startled but made her way to the podium. When I first came here, I was the kind of person our clients needed healing from. I thought power meant getting what I wanted at any cost. I manipulated my son, hurt my daughter-in-law, and used another young woman as a pawn. She gripped the podium's edges. But working here showed me true power. I've watched women rebuild their lives from nothing. I've seen them forgive people who don't deserve forgiveness, including me. That's real strength. Mom, Toby called out suddenly. He walked forward, stopping at the podium's base. I need to say something too. I nodded, and he took Palmer's place. I was a coward, he said simply. I let others make my choices. I hurt someone who loved me because I was too weak to stand up for what was right. He turned to face me. But watching you build this place, seeing how you transformed pain into purpose, it taught me how to be stronger. The men's group I attend meets in the community center, he continued. But with this new wing, we'll have space here too, because healing isn't just for women. It's for anyone ready to change. As Toby stepped down, I returned to the podium. When people hurt us, we have two choices. Let that hurt define us, or let it refine us. This wing represents that choice. Every brick, every program, every success story is proof that broken things can become beautiful. Serenity handed me the scissors for the ribbon cutting. Would anyone else like to share this moment? Palmer, Adeline, and Toby stepped forward together. Neil joined them, then other staff members and clients. Soon, a line of hands held the scissors with mine. Together? I asked. Together, they responded. The ribbon fell, and with it, the last weight I'd been carrying. This wasn't just my triumph anymore. It belonged to everyone who'd chosen to rise, to change, to heal. Later, as guests toured the new wing, Serenity found me in the garden. So, she said, sitting beside me, was it worth it? All the pain? All the work? I watched through the windows as Palmer showed visitors the outreach center, as Adeline led a workshop on ethical networking, as Toby helped set up chairs for the evening's family healing session. Look at them, I replied. Really look. Palmer's found purpose in helping others. Adeline's teaching women to build careers with integrity. Toby's learning to stand on his own. They all thought they were breaking me, but instead, they broke themselves free from who they used to be. And you? Serenity asked softly. I touched the phoenix pendant at my neck, a gift from our first successful client. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even, it's getting better and bringing everyone else along with you, even those who hurt you, especially those who hurt you. I smiled, because that's how you know you've truly healed.